Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed by thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Stand by! Honor! Guard! Attend hut! Ready! Aim! Fire! Ready! Aim! Fire! Oh, he was just a boy! Oh.
That is right, guys. The T20's days are numbered. It had a good run. It provided its fair share of frustration for those that couldn't handle its power, and endless satisfaction for those that could. It's hard to believe it was nearly a year ago it came out, but like all good things in life, they must come to an end. And it's time to move on to R2-D2's long-lost nephew, the RE-7B. So I'm sure most of you are aware this car, can we even call it a car? It's a freak of nature. Well, nature implies natural, and this car it just isn't natural. It's unstoppable. It's like a caricature of what supercars are meant to be. I can just picture Dr. Jekyll at Rockstar headquarters stepping back from the operation table after building this thing and going, "It's alive! It's alive! It's moving! It's alive!" This car is from another planet. It's like one of those toy race cars where you hold the little trigger and it zips around the railroad tracks as your head shakes back and forth like you're watching a tennis match. It looks okay, I suppose. It's got a real boxy look to it with a little spherical dome planted on the top of it, almost giving you a 360 view out of the cockpit. It kind of looks like a UFO, actually. And like a UFO, this thing has the ability to shoot across galaxies at the speed of light and bend space and time itself by teleporting through wormholes. Alright, maybe that last bit was a bit of a stretch, but you get the idea. I don't know the exact car they're trying to replicate with this one, so I'm just going to take a stab in the dark here and say a Toyota GT1? Yes? No?
Well, how about you let me know in the comment section below?
So I was keen to do a complete rundown of all three of the new supercars, but I'm just so damn strapped for cash at the moment. I sold all of my old supercars, but that only got me so far. Like, it became evident pretty early on that the RE-7B was the standout one of the three new supercars, so I only bought that one, and then I splashed out on all those useless sport cars like the Omnis, which I now regret. I think I'm going to have to start working more shifts at the Vanilla Unicorn if I'm going to have any hope of buying them. Hey sweetheart, you want some of this? My ass might look like a kiwi fruit, but it's just as juicy on the inside. Hey, do you two want to use me as a Chinese finger trap, but instead of your fingers, you use your cock? Oh, honey, the things I'd do to you would send me to Guantanamo Bay. I just don't get it, Christy. I can't catch a break. What do you recommend I do? Oh god, this is wrong for me on so many different levels. Like, I get it, sweetie, your dad wasn't nice to you, but believe me, I cannot be your daddy. So this car is insanely fast, and it's caused a pretty big backlash from some of the people in the racing community saying that this car is too easy to drive, it's unrealistic, you don't have to use the brakes, all you do is hold down the right stick when going around corners, GTA racing is ruined, blah blah blah, where. Well, you know, to some extent I do agree with those people. It would have been a lot better if they put these three cars in a class of their own, so we wouldn't have to ditch those beloved supercars that have served us so well in the past. But to be fair, guys, it was just a matter of time before a real race car like this was added to the game. I've always wanted and suspected a car like this would be released sooner or later, and I'm pretty sure, like, I even emailed them a while ago with the idea of having a stock Formula 1 car with no upgrades other than a different livery option and being allocated in a class of its own. They've pretty much done that, except they've done the traditional looking supercars and project cars without putting them in a class of their own. But I think this car is great. Like, gone are the days of the motorcycles dominating the leaderboards, because we've finally got a car which is hands down the fastest land vehicle in the game. Sure, you could argue that all you have to do is hold down the stick around corners, but that certainly is not the case for all corners. Like, braking is still important, and timing has become more important than ever, because when you're driving this car, things are moving and flying past at such accelerated rates. If you have the tiniest lapse in concentration, that's it. You'll crash and the race is over. If you think driving this car takes no skill, then I dare you to jump in a lobby of good drivers and win every race. I challenge you to get every record out there. I challenge you to just go and beat everyone with this car, because it's so easy. It's not, okay? It's also worth noting that this car responds very differently to stock and off-road tyres. As you can see by this footage, there are a few guys in the lobby with stock tyres, and I have off-roads on my own. And you can just see their cars, and they just drive straight through me. They're pulling away from me on the straightaways. And I hope they fix this soon, because if they don't, that means I'm going to have to own two versions of this car, with one having the stock wheels for the races like this, where there's lots of straightaways, and then another car having one with off-roads for those tracks with lots of corners. The RE-7B is rear-wheel drive, so you have to be very careful on the throttle from a stop-start position, and when you're going around tight hairpin corners, it won't hesitate to spin out on you if you aren't careful. It's also very sensitive to props and walls. It doesn't have the weight to crash through barriers. Wall hits are also useless in this thing. In fact, they usually send you flying, so don't bother trying them, and they will not save you if you oversteer a corner and lose control. Anyway, so that wraps it up, guys. Thanks for watching. The RE-7B is a good addition to GTA 5 racing. I enjoy it. It's not for everyone, it's different, but, you know, I think it's kind of the shake-up that this game needed, and it's going to be very interesting to see how everyone sort of responds to it and who comes out on top as the best racer with this car. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel, or subscribe to, like, if you enjoy anything in life, like, subscribe to it. If you enjoy pottery, then subscribe to it. Go make some kick-ass pot plants. If you enjoy baking muffins, subscribe to it. Go bake some muffins for the annual charity fundraiser. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for watching.